Well, good morning. It is a Tuesday, so of course we're in studio, the Real Monica Adams Show, and so thrilled to have you along board. Of course, thank you to our friends at Envita Health and Wellness, our title sponsor, and more exciting meetings have happened over the last couple of days. I have to thank each and every one of you that have been here with us since the beginning. We launched March 1st at my house, and this incredible growth that we've had here in the studio since June 12th, and it's growing and growing. You know, when my mom, when I was a little girl, she always said, don't wish to be 16, don't wish to be 18, don't wish to be 21, 25, because before you know it, you're going to hit 30, and then you're 52. And then my mom's 85, and I can say that because she looks incredible. And by the way, you're going to see her in about 30 minutes. My mom is going to join the show today. But before we do that, I thought kids needed to gather around and watch the show today. So right now, if you're tuning in, I need you to get your kids. I need you to get your grandkids. I need you to get nieces, nephews, any little children, because they need to be ready for something today. We have Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus in studio today. And that's taken them a little while to get here from the North Pole. In fact, we saw the sleigh come in. The reindeers are here. They're all ready to get you your presents for Christmas. Have you been nice? I hope so. If not, you've got a few months to just maybe change it around a little bit. So listen to moms and dads and grandpas and aunts and uncles, godmothers like I am. Do what you're supposed to do so you can actually see the bountiful gifts underneath the Christmas tree come December 25th. Can you believe that? We have a huge show on tap for you today. I also would be remiss if I didn't say this. It's Elvis week, and the reason for that is tomorrow is the day he left us back in 1977. My father went to high school with him at Humes High School in Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm a huge fan. I heard when I was driving in this morning that they're doing a special, kind of a behind the scenes of the big comeback tour. Remember that? Back in 1968, December of 1968. All we have to say to women is the Black Leather Tour. Okay? You remember that. The gorgeous Elvis. So there's something new coming out on Paramount. You might want to look into that. It's the behind the scenes of the big comeback special. So some fun things. It's also National Relaxation Day. Are you going to be able to do that, or is it rush? Try to get you to relax. I don't think Santa and Mrs. Claus have had a chance to do so, and now they're really ramping things up. So we're going to talk to them about getting ready for the big holiday, their big holiday for sure, and then the busyness of getting the kids back to school, and then you turn around and have to do shopping to get ready for Christmas as well, to help with whatever Santa can't get you, because again, he's got so much he's trying to get you, but then mom and dad and aunts and uncles and everybody else tries to help and give you gifts around Christmas time as well. So again, kids need to see today's show. If you can't catch it live, be sure that you like and follow and share this show, because they're going to want to see what Santa and Mrs. Claus have to say. Santa, Mrs. Claus, and my mother, all on today's show. That's coming up next. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment, or online, EnvitaHealthandWellness.com. And welcome back. It is 7:05. Thrilled to have you along with us. It's the Real Monica Adams Show, and I have a very special guest right now. I feel like a little kid all over again. Santa and Mrs. Claus are here with me today. Oh my gosh, I feel so honored. Thank you for being here, Santa. Thank you,
Yes.
Mrs. Claus.
Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, my dear.
It's snowing.
Oh, yes, it is.
You brought, oh my goodness, and I thought it did cool it down a little bit. I saw the wind
Well,
going, but
I told you I don't like hot.
I know. So
We
you're
have to adjust the weather when we need to.
Thank you for bringing the snow. Oh, I feel cooler now. It's been oppressively hot, Santa. Yeah, I wouldn't want you to be in those clothes and have to be in the heat of St. Louis.
It's a bit warm.
It's a bit warm, yes.
A bit of a change from the North Pole.
I think so. How cold is it at the North Pole?
Actually, we reside under the veil of the Aurora Borealis, and it's really quite comfortable. What we're wearing here is a normal layer of clothing. We don't even need coats inside the veil.
Really?
We do not.
Oh my goodness. What
Outside?
about
Oh, yes.
What about the elves?
Yeah.
The elves. So much magic, so much going on.
I hear you have a lot of, like, thousands.
15,000 elves. 8 more on the way today and tomorrow. Yes.
15,000. And they're different sizes.
They are, because elves have different purposes.
Okay.
For instance, sometimes when we come to visit to the lower 48, we find ourselves without the sleigh. There's no snow, it's hard to land, so I have to bring a taller elf. You know, the short ones crash into things when you're driving.
They do.
They do.
Well, that's not good. So what does it take to be an elf?
Elves are elves from the start. So they just have to be born.
They're born as an elf.
They're born as an elf.
And what kind of characteristics do they have?
Oh.
They love to work, but they work for sugar.
Sugar.
Yes.
Lots and lots of sugar.
Oh.
the
Well, that's
candy
what keeps
canes
them
and
motivated.
That is.
Yes.
Chocolates.
Lots of chocolates, lots of candy canes.
And they don't like to be idle.
No.
They get very grumpy when they're idle.
So they work more than an 8-hour day, probably.
They do.
All the time.
They're not.
And it's
Do they
so
sleep?
joyful.
They do, but they know when they're tired.
Do they take naps?
A few do. A few.
Just a few of the
Yes.
15,000? So you are the legendary. Tell us about the legendary aspect of what you do. And you're all over the place, besides getting ready for the kids and their gifts that you've got to deliver. And still, every child will always want us to know. See, Legendary Christmas Company you're seeing right there. The children don't understand how you get all over the world in one night.
Well, the biggest thing that everyone should know is that Santa and Mrs. Claus, and the North Pole for that fact, exist because of the magic of Christmas. So the way we get around is through space and time. Christmas Eve, of course, when we are out doing our big gig, is magical, but if you look at the map of the direction that Santa travels, it's in reverse of the spin of the Earth. Because I'm chasing darkness, and I'm able to slow it down enough in that process to visit all the wonderful children.
Oh, I've never known that. See, this is why that's the benefit of being able to do this interview. And we were very honored, by the way, on this show to have both of them in before anybody gets a chance. This is exclusive right now. Nobody's had a chance to talk with them. The time just doesn't seem to slow down, Santa and Mrs. Claus. I mean, we just started 2023 and we're already in August, and you've got 4 months to get ready for this. So the list, so the kids that are watching right now and the grandkids and nieces and nephews, etc., if they have questions about if they haven't been the best, maybe moms and dads have said they haven't been the best. Do they have time to be okay to get something?
They do,
Yes?
and a lot of people don't understand, Monica, that Mrs. Claus is actually the keeper of the nice list.
Oh, you
So
better
when
be
they,
good to her.
When they sing the song, he's making a list and checking it twice.
Twice.
Well, there are actually 2 lists.
Two lists.
There's the nice and naughty list.
Yes.
And then there is the gift list that I have to pack with the elves onto the sleigh.
The nice and naughty list, and then a gift list.
Yes.
Is my name on there?
Oh, let's see. It'll take a bit
This-
to find it.
Oh, that's very
it's
long.
Really quite long.
We have
right
to get
there.
this reindeer out of the way for you to look
Oh,
at
that's
that list.
adorable. She's my little friend.
I love her. Look at this
Let's
list.
see.
Uh-oh, I don't see. I have been good, I promise you.
Oh, I know you have
My
help.
mom's here to actually just. Oh, I see James. There's my husband. He's on there.
Yes, see.
I see
Oh,
Michelle.
it's really quite long. Really quite long.
George, I don't see you yet.
Now. Oh, well, I know what's wrong.
What?
You haven't submitted your wishes yet.
Oh, you're right. See, I have been so ridiculously busy getting this show ready. You're so right. How did I forget that?
I don't know, Monica, but we all do get busy.
Yes.
And it's never too late to write your letter to Santa.
Okay, well, I will make sure to do that immediately, or I'll just give it to you since you're here.
And it's not going to be the same as your favorite gift,
No, my favorite gift.
the bicycle.
Well, you don't have to say, how did you know? Of course you knew. I did have a bicycle that you gave me when I was a little girl. I wanted it so bad, and I didn't think it was going to make it underneath the Christmas tree. I don't know how you got it. It was so bulky.
The magic.
The magic of Christmas. It is such a magical time. Talk about how life, the world changes. Everyone seems to be in a better mood. Don't you agree that everybody's kinder around Christmas time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, but the real meaning of Christmas is joy and sharing gifts with each other, giving, not receiving.
Yes.
And that doesn't have to be just at Christmas. I think if more of us were kind to each other and gift giving throughout the year, we would all be much happier.
And especially those gifts that you just can't buy somewhere at a store. It's the acts of love and compassion and empathy, courage, and silence. Sometimes we just need to be a good listening friend.
Yes. Well, that's one of the greatest gifts you can ever find. And I think some people say, well, maybe I'm not a great listener. Can I learn that? I think it's always a learned art. You agree?
I do. I think sometimes we just get so busy, and I find myself that way too.
Yes.
Very busy, running around, training reindeer, inspecting toys.
Can we talk about the reindeer games? Because, you know, no matter what, since I was a little girl, or one of my sister and several of my friends always say, oh, your favorite movie's on. I love to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That is my absolute favorite. Look, there's Rudolph right there.
Would you like to see him?
I would like to see him.
This is really him. So, all of our dear friends here, we brought pictures of each of them.
Oh, Rudolph.
But here's what most people don't know is that the reindeer, their names are actually the positions of the sleigh. So when they go out and they play the reindeer games, they are competing for the position of being Dasher or Dancer or Prince or a Vixen.
Or Comet or Cupid.
And Donner and Blitz.
Except Rudolph. Rudolph is always Rudolph.
I was just going to say, no one ever gets a chance to take Rudolph's place. You know, what would you say about the meaning of that movie that we all watch? It brings tears to our eyes because of the way he's treated. And that is something that young kids see in themselves, right? The bullying aspect.
Yes.
Because he was bullied.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. And I think even as children grow up through adulthood, there will always be challenges. That's what life is about, learning to accept a challenge and to rise above it and to be friendly to those around you. So sometimes that bully is a bully for a reason. Maybe no one's been nice to them. But eventually Rudolph fit in, and he's quite the athlete.
He's very popular, right? He is.
Yes.
He's a phenomenal athlete. I love that. I've never heard that before, Mrs. Claus. So they're competing for their position to be able to. Okay, so let's ask this question: the sleigh. How does it fly?
That's I get that a lot. So again, it's the magic of Christmas. When children ask Santa, "Well, how do you get into my house? I don't have a chimney." Well, you know, you get to see for yourself. Santa carries a magical key.
And that's for everybody's home?
That it does fit into every home, but I don't need to use it if they do have a chimney or another way for me to get in. But, you know, dragging that bag down through there, the magic of Christmas allows me to shape shift and turn into coal dust and zip right down, do my thing, and decorate. I love the decorating and laying of presents.
Oh, we love the lights. I mean, just everything's so sparkly and just so joyful at that time. Now, here's the thing. And I am a personal trainer, and I'm very big on health and fitness, and I'm worried about you sometimes. I want you to be healthy.
I appreciate that. I do need you to know that Mrs. Claus also worries about Santa. So
Yes.
although I do eat a lot as I get closer to Christmas Eve, that takes so much energy.
Well, I was going to say, you need the fuel, right?
That I have to build up the fuel. Yes, absolutely.
These pictures, by the way, of the two of you are just beautiful. Where's that taken? Oh, look at that. Just the look of the connection of the eyes of the
Walter's
soul.
first Christmas.
That Walter and I have been connected. Walter was awake unexpectedly. Yes, just cooing and making noise. And every year, I really don't mind that Walter is awake. And
He's always awake waiting for you?
He's waiting, and I show up, and I see, this last year, he was 4.
Yes, and baby Betty arrived.
And had his baby sister with him.
Look at that.
And Walter wore his little cowboy hat.
Oh.
Yes.
But
So-
they need to get a good night's rest, though.
They do, because, again, on Christmas Day, that's their busy day.
Yes.
And so they need the rest because there's a lot going on Christmas Day.
Well, Mrs. Claus, I've heard whispers that, again, like Santa just said, that you're trying to get him a little healthier. So when it comes to cookies, did I understand that you're making asparagus cookies for him?
Yes, yes. We tried very hard to bring goodness up there to the North Pole. It's not just all chocolates and candy canes and such. So
Do you like my chocolate chip cookies?
I made these wonderful, delicious asparagus cookies, and I was so tickled when Santa brought me an empty plate. But, there was a bit of a problem. Reindeer training was shortly afterwards, and off Santa goes, whoosh, 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 way off into the sky. He goes, let's go, and oh my, they go through the portal into the northern lights, and, well, that's where we collect all of our stardust, which gives us the magic so that we could fly. And off, they're just going about, and next thing you know, geez, big, terrible reindeer farts.
It
They're
was the
nearly
reindeer.
from the
knocking him
asparagus.
out of the sleigh.
Was not Santa.
Oh, well, you blame, just like everybody blames it on their dogs, you're blaming it on the reindeer.
I will tell you, my dear, that is how we got the color purple into the northern lights.
Oh,
Now the
see there?
secret's out.
Yes.
The broccoli works well too.
Do you have broccoli cookies?
Broccoli cookies.
Yes.
And asparagus cookies.
Well,
Yes.
and
Can
we,
you share that recipe? Because I
And
would
chocolate
like that.
carrots, too.
Chocolate carrots?
Yes, you just dip them in the chocolate. Oh, they're delicious.
I want the asparagus cookie recipe. Would you share that with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, right. I love it. If you're just tuned in, I don't have to introduce these guests. I mean, come on. This is Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus, and we are so honored to have them on. We're talking about the magic of Christmas. We're talking about the joyful time. And again, if you're in the rush like we all are, as you just saw, I forgot to turn my list in. I'm going to have to do that. We need to slow down a little bit. Be in the moment. Be kinder human beings to one another. We're going to have more about the spirit of Christmas and why you really don't like to talk about a naughty list, more nice list.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about the nice list more so. And because I think everybody can fit into that, even there's people that say, no, this one's always going to be bad. But we have to just find hope. Someone has to believe in them for them to turn, right?
And we
I
do.
know you believe in every child. So we're going to have more with Santa and Mrs. Claus when we return.
It's the icing on the cake.
The final brush stroke.
The finishing touches make all the difference in your home, too.
Have fun and get started at carolhouse.com/room planner.
With thousands of accessories in our 3.5-acre showrooms.
Get your picture perfect room and the lowest prices in the country at Carol House.
Because you like nice things.
Of course, it's great to get outside and enjoy the warm weather, but when it's time to relax indoors, be sure your home stays cool with equipment and service from my friends at Aldon. 24-hour emergency service available. At Aldon, it's their commitment to continue providing above and beyond HVAC service for all of their customers. They truly care about the air you breathe. Call them today at 314-567-5585 or on the web, aldon.com. That's al-don.com, 314-567-5585. Welcome back. It is 7:20, and we are so honored to have our guest on this morning, Santa and Mrs. Claus. We've been talking about the reindeer games. We've been talking about getting ready for Christmas and the spirit of it, the magic of it all. We also were talking about the list, which she was just showing us. She's the keeper of the list, Mrs. Claus. So you just like to look at like a nice list. One nice list. We don't really like to talk about naughty, even though people think there's naughty people out there. So why?
Every single person has the ability to love, and love beautifully at that. And we celebrate that. It is a joyous thing here at the North Pole. And every single child, whether it's an act of courage, an act of kindness, and a moment of empathy, a moment of friendship. Oh, the friendship, it builds so much love. And we like to be able to take that and celebrate it with each and every person. Now, we've had a couple children come up and the parents are all about the, oh, no, he's not going to make it on the list. But you know what I do? I validate how pure they are. I simply look into my magic telescope here. Now, if I, as a magical, can look through here and think about the child's name, all I can see is all of the random acts of kindness and love they've done throughout the year. And when I see them, I see that, yeah, you know what? Jamie was a little interesting this year and creative at that. And we give them credit, for that uniqueness. However, beyond all of that, deep within them, they love wholly and completely. It's what we do as humans. And as a magical, and yes, we are always human first and foremost, we get to take generations of love and not just share that, but embody it into who we are and share it. And I think that's where a lot of this Christmas spirit comes from.
Oh, yes. I agree.
So as we go about and we figure out who has done all the acts of kindness throughout the year, we celebrate them by putting them on the nice list. And then Santa delivers on Christmas Eve.
You do deliver, and you deliver big time. What are you holding in your hand there?
Well, a lot of children ask Santa, how do I navigate?
Yes.
And although I have automated GPS,
Well, that
does
just
exist everywhere.
came, right, in the last
yes.
maybe 20 so years?
Yes,
But what'd you do before
which
that?
is wonderful. Well, so Santa operated with, this is a compass off of
Do
my
I get
sleigh.
touch it?
You do.
This is magic, everybody.
And that's how Santa would navigate as
Oh,
they
my
did in
goodness.
olden days.
We're always looking for the true
Lewis
north.
and Clark, I know you know.
I
this.
do,
They
that
navigated,
expedition.
yes, they navigated with an instrument very similar to that device.
What if this fell off your sleigh?
Well, so Santa has been around the world. This is not my first sleigh ride. So for the most part, I know how to navigate. It's the new children that show up.
Not that I have to tell you because you know everything, but I did traffic reporting for a long, long time. But you're the true traffic reporter. You
Yes.
know anywhere.
I know my way around traffic, and
Yes.
that's the wonderful part, yes.
Yeah. So have you ever taken children in the sleigh and given them a ride, or is that a no-no?
That's usually a no-no. I don't like to transition. Sometimes children will ask for pets, and that never works well in the sleigh. You don't want to know what a puppy does at 2 in the morning to a bag full of presents. But, every once in a while, there was the year that the baby crawled into the bag.
Oh, the
In
baby.
a bag?
Yes.
Oh, yes. It was a thing.
Well, I guess it was.
Yes. Now, you
Did
have
you
to
have-
understand that Santa travels at North Pole time and speed. Okay, so it really wasn't quite so bad. Well, the baby had crawled into the bag, out of the crib, into the bag. Santa swishes off. He's about, 7 or 8 states away. And he hears this little, Santa. It was the sweetest little thing he said. But in North Pole time, we were able to have the baby back in a total of 12 seconds. It really wasn't so bad.
Absolutely.
But it was an honest mistake. It had crawled into a little stroller that a young lady had asked for. I think Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie.
So, and it came with a baby. So there it was. It climbed into the stroller. I didn't see the other.
No, you thought that was the other baby that they were looking for, not a
until
real
I,
baby.
Until I found the baby doll
Yes.
and realized there was a problem, and then we heard the noise.
The parents didn't even know?
Oh, no, it was just
No,
12
it happened
seconds.
so fast.
Gosh. But see how quickly a kid could wander off. That's the dangerous side of kids. They're so excited for this. So, all right, we've got about 5 minutes left with Santa and Mrs. Claus because I know they're very, very busy. As kids are getting ready, what's the craziest things they're asking for this year, Santa?
Legos are still hot.
Oh, good.
Legos are still hot. We're seeing
Barbies, the
Yes,
Barbie
that's what I
thought.
production has ramped up like you would not believe.
Barbie and Ken.
Yes.
And for some reason, they love the slime. And Melvin loves making that slime. I mean,
Oh, I know.
he's up all hours in the night.
He's
making
one of
it.
our key elves.
Oh,
But I think you're going to see automation too. A lot more children are carrying phones these days,
I
and they
know.
want the smartwatches.
of course they're expensive.
Yes.
And I love the fact
but
that
they
you're taking.
we do make smaller kid version.
Okay.
Yes.
But we're trying to get them to connect more. I wish more kids would put these things down and connect with families more. Don't we? We need to get back to the family tradition.
We agree.
Writing.
And we
Writing
do that.
letters to Santa.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Don't
please.
type them. Do you get those? You have to get on the tablets and the phones and the computers, or you want the old school write me a letter.
We like the old write me a letter.
Yeah.
Because I can always go back to it, and it's a little more personal for me.
What's the North Pole address? Just North Pole and it'll get to you?
You can simply write the North Pole.
Mm-hmm.
You can write 1225 Candy Cane Lane.
Ah.
Yes, North Pole 00000.
Maybe that's why. I just always put North Pole when I was a little kid, and it probably took a little bit longer
we
to get
get
to
it.
you.
Oh, it comes either way.
Okay.
The U.S. Post Office provides free postage for every letter.
And I think a lot of people right now, because we're talking about the kindness, and we know what's going on in Hawaii right now. So
Yes.
maybe in the
Oh, yes.
spirit of giving, because that's the thing that I always love when kids say, I don't need that extra gift. I'd like to give too, right? Maybe they go to a hospital and see kids that are sick and they want to do something for the kids. What do you want to say to the giving spirit of what we need to do for all those around the world? But right now in the news, right now we're all talking about Hawaii.
Yes, and Hawaii is a very sad case. But it's not the only place.
Oh, no.
We have homeless people on the streets. We have
Foster children.
We have foster children. We have orphanages. We have elderly homes that we visit. We have veterans' homes. So anything to help those in need
Absolutely.
is obviously
Or even if it's
the
just
greatest gift.
volunteering at a humane society type animal shelter, at the food kitchens. Oh, there's no greater gift than love.
It's very true, and that's why I wanted to bring it up before we wrapped up, because it's very easy, and obviously we were all kids, or you're a kid right now, and it's easy to say, but I want this, I want this, I want this. But I think the earlier on that the parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles can teach, yes, but also it would be good for you to think of those that maybe are less fortunate, as you just said, the homeless, the elderly. Many people forget about the elderly, and that's such a shame. What was your favorite gift to ever give? That's a hard question.
That is. That is. I had a very lifelike doll in 1962, 63 that a very young girl had waited years for. And it took a little while for our elves to get it just right. But yes, she got her little baby Valerie, and now she's full grown with her own daughter Valerie.
What do you say to those kids that they have, because again, they have such a long list, and you're so busy with your elves trying to get it all together, and some of them will say, but I didn't get what I wanted. How come Santa didn't give this one to me? What do you say to that?
Well, I try my best.
Yes.
But even the elves can only make so many of something. So that's why it's important to ask for a few things to give Santa options.
Yes. We don't want to be so greedy.
No.
Right.
And remember, it's about getting the gift,
Yes.
not what the gift is.
Well, one of the things that, are you familiar with the 5 love languages? What's your love language, Mrs. Claus?
Gift giving?
Yes, and what's yours?
Of course, gift
So
giving.
that's usually rare that people in a relationship that they have the most, but have the same. But I would figure that receiving gifts not as much, but giving gifts. And what is it that you love so much about giving the gifts?
The joy and the love that you see in every face when they've received something or you've helped them.
Do the kids tug on your beard?
The babies love the beard. They will just pull on it like...
And then what about the kids when they go to take pictures with you and they just start crying? What do you do to try to calm them?
Well, Mrs. Claus is absolutely wonderful with children. So usually if that's the case, we will spend a little extra time letting them warm up
Yes.
around the other kids so they're comfortable with
Well,
that.
it's hard because parents just all of a sudden shove these babies and kids on your
Yes.
lap and they don't know who you
They're
are.
right. And so we spend some time just loving on them and playing and having fun together and letting them know it's a loving, safe environment. And then next thing you know, we're all playing and having a blast.
Yes. Santa, do you like these palm trees? Because I'm trying to bring the warmth for you.
I'm getting it. I'm getting the vibe. We do Christmas in July. We went to
Yes, we do.
Branson this year for Christmas in
Oh,
July.
I love Branson.
Yes.
What'd you do besides giving gifts and telling people to make their list? Did you see any shows?
We went to the Kringle Christmas Company store. and
Of course you
celebrated.
did. What do you have a bunch of ornaments at the North Pole also?
Yes, we do collect. I mean, we can make anything, but it's so much fun to get something that someone in a store or something is personally made.
Right.
They're one of a kind.
Okay, here's my last question. Do you give gifts to each other?
Yes.
And what? Well, you guess you can't tell, right? You can't tell him what you're getting this year.
Not this year, no.
Okay. What's your favorite gift that she ever gave you?
The snowflake cufflinks.
Oh,
Still wear them.
come on! I like that. I'm very into fashion, as
Yes.
you know, so I love that.
Santa's all into fashion.
And what about you?
Well, I'm 224 years old.
Oh,
this
well,
year.
well, you have to tell us
Santa?
what you use for your cream on your face.
Well, Santa gave me a locket with my parents' picture in there and my baby picture from the early 1800s. And I thought that was absolutely endearing.
Yeah, 224. I mean, my goodness, your skin is radiant.
Thank
Can you tell
love.
us a little bit of your secret? What do you use? You'll just
Stardust?
Stardust, and there's no way for us to buy Stardust. You
I'll
should
leave you a
package
little on
that.
the way
You'll
out.
leave me a little?
Yes.
Watch how I start to glow, everybody, and then you're going to ask me what my secret is. So 224, and Santa, are you 1753?
That is correct.
Well, you look incredible too.
Well, you know, when we're at the North Pole, time does slow down for us there because the elves are magical. People don't understand. Elves can live thousands of years.
Do you two ever get a sleep?
Yes.
But
Sleep
how
is
long
important
do you
as
sleep?
well. Well, it depends on the day. 6 to 8 hours maybe each day. Sometimes 4.
And
You
not a
never
lot
know.
probably around Christmas time.
No.
Like my brother worked for UPS, he just retired, and he said, "You'll never see me around Christmas time because I'm trying to get all these packages that people are trying to get from Amazon and wherever else."
Mm-hmm.
And they're just, I mean, they work so many hours. They're out there helping too. They're kind of like little elves here,
They
aren't
are.
they?
They're, That's correct.
Extra
Little
cocoa,
delivery
dear.
elves.
Extra cocoa?
Extra cocoa.
Oh, okay. All right. So we heard that Mrs. Claus is trying to get Santa a little healthier. Did you ever work out at the North Pole?
I run and dash everywhere, zipping in, so the steps are never really a problem. It's just watching what I eat.
Lots of cookies.
Love those cookies.
Do you still drink regular milk though, or have you tried to transition him to like almond milk and oat milk and hemp milk and no?
Just
Oh, look at regular milk, huh?
Regular milk.
So if
some
the
habits
kids,
are hard to break.
yeah, exactly. If the kids are leaving cookies though, what do you want them to leave you?
Oh, Santa has 2 favorite kinds of cookies. Did you know?
What are they?
Store-bought and homemade.
Store bought, all cookies.
All cookies.
I used to leave chocolate chip and then snickerdoodles. Did you like the snickerdoodles I left you?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
snickerdoodles. Mom taught me that. It is such a pleasure. Now I know you're really busy, and I'm going to bring, speaking of Mom, I'm going to bring Mom in just a second. What last words would you like to say before you have to rush off?
If you could give one gift this year, please give the gift of love.
Yes. And Santa?
Find someone, even if it's in your house or outside your house, to help. Even 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, we have to slow down.
Even
the
your
busyness.
parents could enjoy a little help.
They need it, kids. They need you to help out. And so again, we're talking about just a little over 4 months before Christmas. So get those lists in. We gave you the address to the North Pole, and you can flip this around to a little more kindness. That's actually how I end every one of my shows. I always say, go out. You can be anything you want to be in the world. But just be kind, though, first and foremost. We all can try to be a little bit kinder. So I know you have tons of different events to get to as well. You're going to get really busy. People want you to come to their corporations and holiday gatherings. You still have a little time if people want to?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
And they just write to North Pole and get you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you both.
Thank you.
So very much for coming in, and your wonderful chest over here of lots of goodies and the magic telescope. And I got a chance to touch his compass that I didn't mess up, ladies and gentlemen and kids. He's going to be able to get every one of your houses. All right, Santa and Mrs. Claus have been my guests. Coming up, my truest hero, my mother, in the blue chair when we return.
Warm weather, sand beaches, and boats galore. It's not Florida, it's a Lake of the Ozarks. Florida Direct Palm Trees brings tropical flair to your patios, docks, and yards. From a few feet all the way to 25 feet, there are palm trees for every property. Florida Direct also provides palm tree potting soil, palm fertilizer, large decorative pots, and a wide selection of locally grown tropical flowers and plants to add the perfect accent to your tropical paradise. Florida Direct Palm Trees, bringing paradise to your patio for 14 plus years.
We had to get Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus transitioning. Go ahead, Michelle. That's the beauty of live, real shows. So I absolutely loved having Santa and Mrs. Claus, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you didn't get a chance to have the kids up and watching live, that's okay. Maybe, I don't know, some of the kids may have already started school, which we were just in Oxford, Mississippi about a week and a half ago, and I couldn't believe that they were already having the kids. Where are you going, Mom? Oh my goodness. Oh, she has to sit on something because she's a little small. My mother is in here. Let's go ahead and we'll take that shot and show you everybody. Mom is here. George, if you can take this, I just want to show you. She just got on top of another pillow. Oh, okay. We'll get it to you. There we go. There we go. So Mom said that the pillow behind her wasn't enough, so she wanted to sit up a little more. Thanks for being here, Mother.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks
wow,
for asking me.
You look adorable.
Thank you.
We didn't even do this. We didn't mean to match, but it's what happens. Did you enjoy having Santa and Mrs. Claus here? Did you listen on the outside?
I did listen in the other room. All the special stuff that he's got ready for the kids.
I know, and I know that not always were the kids in your house the best, but we tried. Were we good kids?
Yes, you were.
She hesitated.
Yes, they were very good kids, really.
You did. Well, that's a true testament to parenting, though, don't you think?
Yes.
You and Dad did a good job. None of us ended up in jail.
Right.
We're not on drugs.
Not on
That's
drugs.
a good thing. We do like to have a drink here and there, but we don't have an alcohol problem. But yes, that's a true testament to the fact that you did a great job. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, but let's say this first of all. She's got something special she told me that she wanted to give me, which you're wearing one of them. Did you make this?
Yeah, yesterday, my garden club, we got together, and they had a lot of them teaching different things. Real flowers on presents, different ways to decorate, And then I was in the class to make boutonniere. So I made one for myself, and then the teacher made one, and she said, give this to Monica.
Well, who's the teacher? I want to say thank you.
You know her.
I do? Who?
Nan McKay.
Oh, Nan, you're so sweet. And this is for me?
This is for you.
Well, thank you.
Now, do you know how she said, you want
No,
me
you
to
can't
do-
get up, so I'll do it.
Okay.
You go
Take
straight
the
down,
pin
right?
And put it in
She's
your...
teaching how to do this, by the way, for all of you that go to proms and homecoming, and you usually do this.
First, your jacket.
Here we go.
First,
Put
your
it in my jacket first?
Put it in here from the top
I feel like
and
I'm a little kid
down,
again.
and leave that sticking. No, let that stick out.
What?
The pin. Let the bottom of the pin
Yes.
that you see it straight up and down.
I'm just going to put it on because it's going to take up the whole show for me
and
to put this
that's
on.
okay. Then you shove the flower into that
Okay.
bottom pin.
I've got it. Perfect.
You got it.
Now, I was teasing my mom because I said, thank you. The boutonnieres are normally for the boys and then corsages for the girls. But she's starting a new trend here, evidently.
We could have put them on our hands.
Well, I don't want to put a pin through my hand.
I don't either.
I don't either. Thank you, Mother. They're beautiful. In fact, we were showing Michelle and Lori, and there's a big crew here, George, and Michelle literally said they look professional. So
Well,
you might have
yeah.
a side job, Mom.
No, well, the teacher, she worked at a...
But you did these too, right?
Yeah, but I had a great teacher. If I got a
That's
good
what it's
teacher,
about.
I can do it.
Isn't that, that's what it's all about. By the way, you did teach, Mom, right? Besides teaching us at home,
Yeah.
my mother
I
was
was
a
a
substitute
substitute
teacher.
teacher.
What made you want to do that?
I was, well, it all started back with your older brother, and he was kind of a stinker. And I got very close with his teacher,
Yes, you did.
Mrs. Corbismeyer,
Patricia, right?
Patricia
Mrs.
Corbismeyer.
I'm surprised I just said Patricia.
And she would say, would you like to come and, help work with the kids? And I go, oh, yeah, we'd love to, So I got started, and I would be a substitute teacher.
And she was mine, by the way. We went to Sacred Heart grade school in Florissant. And so there were times where she was my substitute teacher as well. And many times you feel like if you have an in that you have a way out. That was not the case. Mom did not let me off the hook. We all were hams.
Oh, yes.
Well, at least I should say Brian and I were.
Yes,
Craig was a little quieter, wasn't he?
yeah, yes. Craig was,
If he's watching, he's gonna be like, yeah, I was the golden child. No, no, you weren't. We all gave them a little bit of trouble.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, because, My mom doesn't have a problem with me saying that she's 85 because everybody look at her. I mean, somebody just said, "Look at your adorable mother. How cute." Look at your mom. I hope I look as good as her at that age, but I don't even look that good now. Good morning, good morning, good morning, pretty mom. That's what Rose just said. If you're just tuning in, yes, this is my mother. I want to introduce you to. One of the things we want to talk about is over the years. I mean, you've lived 85 years, which is just absolutely incredible. So born in the late 30s. I'm reading right now the book Family Reigns from the Anheuser-Busch family, right? Billy Bush.
Oh, yes.
And it was just amazing to think that Prohibition lasted for 13 years. And then you were born just 5 years after that. We talked about, we're going to be talking about, I should say, going through Prohibition and going through the Great Depression and all these things. So you hear all these stories from your mom, hard times.
Yes.
And being able to get through that. What do you think in your early years as a kid and teenager were the hardest that you lived through back decades ago?
Didn't really feel like it was hard times. I know a lot of my grade school friends and that, they said we weren't rich. We knew we were not rich, but nobody felt like we were very poor. You know, we never had a whole lot. Mom made mostly everything. I remember one Christmas, all of a sudden we couldn't find our dolls anywhere. And Mom said, I don't know where they're. Well, she took them and she had been making doll clothes for them.
Aw.
So we couldn't see them, you know. So then at Christmas time we got them, you know. But we always got some kind of a Christmas present. But it wasn't so much the present, you know. It was the getting together with the family and cousins. You know, we had a big family.
Yes, we
so
did.
it was the most fun on Christmas Eve to get with all the cousins and have so much fun and good food.
Well, and I want to say, I wish more people would start traditions and try to keep those traditions going. My favorite memories growing up were being at Grandma's house, and then it got to be so big, as she just said, we have a huge family on both sides, by the way, on my
Yes.
mom's side and my dad's side. But that huge family got to be so much, and I don't know if Grandma was sick at the time, but we moved to a hall, and we all talk about how we didn't like the hall. Because it just felt sterile. It
Yes.
wasn't the warmth of a home.
Right.
And so having those traditions of being able to go to Grandma's house, and then it turned into Aunt's house.
Yes, then it was the aunt's, then another one's house.
But
you
then
know.
it stopped because someone got sick. We haven't had Christmas Eve together over the last couple of years, have we? Yep.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is on my dad's side, and that kind of happened as well. So for all of you that are young, I want you to understand, to appreciate what your parents are trying to start for you. And I love the fact that you talked about cousins, because trying to get cousins together, and then sometimes your second and third cousins are the closest to you. Like I think about
Yes.
the Millers. So Jim Miller and I were super close. He's in the industry as well, works in radio and did some TV work. But they had 9 kids.
Yes.
And being around them, being around the Mosheks, love them both so much. They are my third cousin, though, right?
I guess so. And the Neaters.
And the Neaters, oh, yeah.
Neaters are trying to get
And that's
the
what I
family
love.
going.
So
Shrimp
that's
bowl.
shrimp boil. Yeah, I'm going to miss that. I hate that.
Yes.
That's the thing that people need to try. If there's a younger generation, understand how to get that back. Oh, I just looked and realized they left the reindeer. Was this a gift from Mrs. Claus to me?
Oh.
I'll try to get that back to the North Pole.
Yes.
Let's talk about this, Mom. So one of the things that I've always been very proud of is people will say, Monica, your mother is so classy, and she passed that along to you. You instilled class in me at an early age. Why is that?
I don't know. I guess through my mom, and it wasn't just her mannerism, how she acted, and whatever she did, you just kind of followed suit, you know, and
What does class mean to you?
have high morals, care about yourself, care about everybody else that's around you, and treat everybody with respect.
Respect. That's something that people seem to have lost for one another. Well, it really is. I mean, if we look at our world these days, it is. I'm a big, obviously, fan of supporting the police, and I see such
Yes.
disrespect that's happened to the police, even sometimes to any first responder. It's just so busy, and I always say, get out of your own way. You're so into yourself that you're
Yes.
missing what's going on around you.
Yes, no, it's like you have to be ready to want to help people. appreciate who is there, like the police and all. They're there to help you. Why would you want to take things away from them? Because then they turn around and go, oh, well, we need you to be here. Well, you kicked them out.
Yeah, but the thing is, they still will always be there, though.
Oh, I know they
See, that's
will.
the class within them and the
Right.
way and the way they're taught. If you're just tuning in, we have my mother as my guest. You missed Santa and Mrs. Claus, so you've got to show that to the kids, and maybe if you want to, you can get the list to me, and I'll get them to them now that I have a direct connection. I got their cell phones because Santa has a cell phone. Let's see. Hi, Mrs. Adams. You're such a sweetheart. You look so amazing. Love this. That says Terry. Do you remember Terry that I used to play college soccer?
Soccer,
And you're
yes.
going to get together and go to lunch with her mom, by the way. She's coming in October. You didn't know
okay.
that. That's a
Very
surprise
good.
for you.
Yes. Oh, good.
Julie Fabian said, I didn't know you were Florissant people. My mom went to Sacred Heart. Oh, Fabians. I remember that last name.
Yes.
Absolutely. So my mom doesn't still go to Sacred Heart. She moved out of Florissant. She lives in St. Charles County now. Loves that community. You've been in Lake St. Louis how long?
I think 20 years or
That's
yeah,
crazy.
almost 20 years.
And such an incredible community. I'll tell you what, my mom, the reason why she looks as amazing as she does is you are so busy. Tell them how many clubs you're in.
Probably 4 or 5.
So here we go. She's very big, obviously into flowers, so she's in the garden club. And was that the first club you joined when you moved
Very
in there?
first one. It was in our little newspaper, and I thought, okay, so I just walked on over there one day because I'm only 3 houses away from the clubhouse.
Yes.
So I walked on over one morning and I said, I'm interested. So they go, okay, come on, join our meeting. Got that one?
Jardin du Lac.
Jardin du Lac.
And I just spoke with them not too long ago
It's the
for their
garden-
50th anniversary, right?
Yes, right. And you spoke at our 50th,
Yes.
and everybody tells me how thankful they were.
Oh.
Loved your speech and all.
Thank you. Well, we talked about value, knowing your value.
Yes.
We really talked about how women have come along through the generations, and that was a beautiful thing, and the camaraderie of all women of all ages. So the garden club, then you are involved in. This is one that makes me laugh. She is in the pontooners club, but you don't have a pontoon. How many people are in that club that don't have a pontoon boat?
Oh, probably 30, 40, 50.
Why is it a pontooners club?
Well, there's 2 lakes, small lake, big lake, and so then if you don't have a pontoon boat, you are assigned to someone's pontoon boat. So
Oh.
then when it is on the small lake or large lake, then there's a party.
On the
Outs-
boat?
No, outside on someone's
Wait.
someone's lawn.
Do you ever actually go out on the
Yes.
lake in a boat?
Right. Yes, you
You do?
Yes, after the
Okay. That's not what
eating
I've heard.
party or whatever we have the party is going on, there'll be boat rides and they'll take you around
Okay, historical club.
the historical club.
This is pretty cool, everybody.
Yeah, I love that one because you get to go a lot of neat things.
You go all over the place.
Yes.
Are you on buses?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We always travel by bus. There's one that I don't go and maybe if I get with my girlfriends and see, there's even some overnight, so it'd be a 2-day trip,
So Pontooners Club, the Garden Club, the Historical Society, and then you told me that this is through church, that you just joined something called Windows by the Water?
Widows.
Widows.
Widows by the waterfall.
Widows by the Water. And that came through your church, right?
Yes.
So I wanted all of you that have lost, because one of the topics that you've had us discuss in the past is getting through a loss. My mom actually joined me several months ago, and it's one thing that I can't speak firsthand, thankfully, that I have my husband with me. You lost Dad. It'll be 28 years next month. Oh, actually, in just a handful of weeks, September 12th of 1995, we lost my father. And she has been a widow for 28 years. The love of your life. And people have tried to say, gosh, look at your mother. She's beautiful. She's so energetic. We should get her to date somebody. And she just laughed. Why do you laugh at that?
I kind of tried it.
It didn't work.
I don't know. It don't work. I don't know. It's
Look at this giddy face. No, it's not something that you ever. I swear
well,
you
I
were
don't-
on
yeah.
with me though not too long ago, and you said maybe.
well, I don't know. You never know.
Okay, good. So she is putting it out there.
You just never.
So all of you, look at her. If you want to fix her up, we can play matchmaker here. She did this last time. She's like, no, Monica,
I said,
no.
no matchmaking.
Okay, how about this? If you did meet someone, because you said you never know, never say never, what would you want them, because we're talking a lot about class and integrity and morals, what would you want that person to have if you even entertain the idea of hanging around someone, maybe dating again, what would they have to have within them for you to consider it?
Oh, just the friendliness and to go and do things, all kinds of stuff. Vacations, even do just
Who should they be, though, as a human being?
who what?
If you consider dating someone, what kind of a person would you want them to be?
Kind, thoughtful, fun.
Fun, make you laugh.
Yes, fun, and that they would be willing to, let's try this, let's go here, let's go there.
And would you want them to be a dancer?
It would be very nice, yes, because I do miss that.
My mom and dad, by the way, were champion jitterbug and swing dancers. You did the shag too,
Yes,
but what was your favorite, swing?
swing.
And my mom and my dad, as I said, were incredible dancers, but my brother Brian loves to dance. Craig now dances a little bit. My sister Cindy, she likes to dance.
Yes.
I started getting into competitions when I was younger. And this is one of the things I said, always introduce your kids and let them find their own way. You never pushed anything on me, which I think
No.
is huge. Parents really shouldn't do that because I just see kids rebel.
No, well, yeah, and you tried everything. She had basketball, softball, soccer, I don't know what else, and I was running here and there for her, plus everywhere for her brothers.
But that was after I had already been doing also. I think the reason why is you said you've got to pick because you were also running me to cheerleading, jazz, ballet, dance. But that's how you become a very well-rounded
Yes.
adult.
But then I said, pick one.
And I did. I played soccer.
She said, I want to play soccer. I go, are you sure? Yeah.
You said you're sure because I think you really wanted me to dance.
No, I didn't care.
Oh, okay.
I wanted you to pick what you wanted.
And
you
I
know.
did, and I'm glad because it got me through college,
Yeah.
portions of college before I had my blood clot. Was that one, I have to say, your resilience is amazing. 10 years of the 1990s were so very difficult for you. You had your best friend. She had cancer.
Yes.
She survived, thankfully.
Thank God.
But another one in your group passed.
Yeah.
She had what form of cancer?
Rose, she had, I think it was brain cancer, or it just went to that.
In her honor today, we're wearing
Yes.
roses for her.
That is right.
Dad was stricken with cancer, died in 1995. I had my blood clot in 1990. My brother Craig
Craig.
had Hodgkin's disease. Your mom got sick with
Sick with
cancer
cancer,
after like
and she-
7 bouts of cancer, and then she died. So in all of that, I want people to hear, because so many times people will see pictures and videos of you and I and me and Jim, and I think they just think that our lives are so easygoing and that you're so blessed. And I do have blessed above our fireplace. We're blessed because we work on it, though. So you very easily could have, through all of that, that's a lot on a person, you could have lost your faith. What made you keep your faith?
It just always just knew that God's there and He'll be there to help you get through it. You just have to believe.
But see, there's a lot of people, Mom, that would say, okay, it's one thing to put all your faith in, but all these hardships were coming on you. So how do you continue to pick yourself back up? I mean, that was a decade of it.
I know. You just have to believe. You just have to know that God is there and He will get you through it. No matter how hard it is, how hard it seems. It's just like every day you wake up, thank God first of all that you woke up and help Him to get you through the day, and then thank Him at night, and then just start it all over.
Your faith is everything to you, and I love that. That's the biggest part of my mom. She, we were raised in Catholic, obviously Sacred Heart. I went to St. Thomas Aquinas Mercy. If you want to know where I went to high school, because everybody in St. Louis has to know where somebody went. Where did you go to school?
I went to St. Agatha grade school, and then I went to Sophie Barra High School.
Which was
It was like a secretarial
Yeah.
school, and I know I used to tease some of my girlfriends that I said, well, we are so smart because we get out in 3 years, and you have to go 1 more year.
And then you've done so much. You worked for a temp agency. I remember you worked at Foresight Computers for a
Yes.
long, long time. And this is back when computers were just coming out.
Oh, yes.
And I worked there with you. Actually, we all did. All but Brian, I think, worked there.
Yeah.
And then you, like I said, she was a substitute teacher. And then you did a lot of things with temp agencies. I remember you worked for the Judavine Center for Autism.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing I love about my mom, and this is probably where I got it from. Every temp agency, wherever they placed you, everybody wanted to ask if you would just break break away and work there full time.
Would you work full time? No. Will you be a full time, part time person? That's be okay.
But you wanted to spend time with your family. You wanted to travel. Where's your favorite place you've ever traveled?
I guess my last trip with my husband to Australia.
And is that where this is, or?
No.
Okay,
this
that's on the
was-
cruise ship, right?
That was on the cruise ship, and they were going around taking every picture because he normally has a more stern look on his face. And I said, smile,
Well, he looks
So
happy there.
He looks happy, and he was on the cruise ship, and one of his friends said, "I've never seen you so relaxed, Miles." He said, "I'm enjoying myself."
Well, that's funny because today is National Relaxation Day, so we would have told him to relax as well.
Yes.
We've got just a few minutes left, so let me ask this because one of the women that work with us, she said, I want you to talk to your mom about professionalism as a woman, being a woman of your word. What does that mean to you? Because so many people are not that. They're not their authentic self. They say something, they say one thing and they do something else. So what would you say, because that's obviously been taught to you by your mother, you taught it to me, to be a woman of your word?
Yeah, it's you say you're going to do something, you do it. You don't say it and then just push it to the side. You have to follow through with what you plan to do in everything, work-wise, home-wise, professional. You are always have respect for others, but more important, have respect for yourself.
Respect for yourself is one of the biggest things, and I think that's what we see in people, that you discount yourself.
Yes.
And Santa and Mrs. Claus were signing the book, and so the reason why you don't see it right here, let's put this there. So it always says to know your value, right? Know your value. My mom's actually got the bracelet on that says know your value. I'm going to read a couple comments before we have to wrap up. Your mom is truly amazing, moves better than most people 10 to 20 years younger than herself. She's also fun-sized. I pray I am that blessed at her age. Great picture. They're talking about Dad's picture. And then my mom was a seasoner. Do you know any seasoners that went to Sacred Heart? That's what Julie says. Julie Fabian. And evidently, Monica Spence says they were my neighbors here. I totally agree. Respect goes a long way.
Yes.
Let's talk about your fitness. So why are you so, it's probably why I became a personal trainer, but why are you so into fitness?
I guess I said it's still from my mom. I know there'd be some things going and it'd be cute. My mom, she would be doing some things and she'd say, look, I can touch my toes. And she'd bend over and she'd do this, she'd do that. But I guess it's something in me, just like it's in you. You just know this is what I want to do to stay healthy, to keep fit.
And you are. Look at her.
I try to work out every day.
Okay, no. This is what I'm going to wrap up with. You don't try. You
I
jump
do.
on a trampoline.
Yes, I have little trampoline behind my sofa, and in commercials or whatever, and in between things, and I run, jump on it. Other
Trampoline.
things.
And then she's got the resistance bands. These are the things that are taught.
And I got
you don't have
weights.
to have much. She's got dumbbells that she uses. She does planks. And how many squats do you do a day?
I try every day, 50.
50 squats every day. Normally we ask people, what does it take in life to continue to thrive at your age? Some people that live to be 100, they say that they have a drink every day. That's not your thing.
No.
She does like good wine with me, though.
Yes.
Trust me, I give her some good wine. So what last things would you say to live a fulfilled life?
I guess you eat right, you have fun, keep busy,
Laugh a lot, right?
laugh a lot, yes.
You are very big in laughing.
And help out your neighbor, your friend, everybody. Always be ready to, help somebody else, A volunteer, that's a lot of things there too. There's not a lot of, we need more volunteer people.
We do.
Yeah, because
The
I
giving
know like
spirit.
in schools, my older son, when I was, he was real young, I guess he was like in second grade, and we would talk about the, mothers come and they volunteered, and because he must have asked how much do we get paid, and I go, oh, we don't get paid, we volunteer. Volunteer, you don't get paid? I go, no. So that's it. You start out. You got to volunteer. The world runs on volunteer people.
Yes.
We
So,
didn't have them. Yeah.
you know, I always talk about kindness and giving, and we have to have more of a giving spirit. Mom, thank you for what you've instilled in me, and I will promise you that I will continue to pay it forward because that's really what we need to do more of in life. I am going to take a very quick 30-second break and thank our title sponsor one more time. And as we do that, I'm going to let my mom pick a color, and we'll end with 100 Days to Freedom. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. It is 8 o'clock, and you've been watching The Real Monica Adams Show with Santa Claus, Mrs. Adams. My mother has been with us, and we haven't done this one in a while, and she actually reminded me of this. 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating, and my mom has forever wanted to be involved in fitness. She used to go like this, oh, my thighs. Let's just be real here on this show. Right, Mom? You did.
Yeah, I know. I still do. I still do.
Oh, gosh, come on. She's this big, and she still does it. She wants to stay fit. So you would never overeat because it's just not something within you. Jesus as our example. This is 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. This is from Mark 1, verse 35. The most important example that Jesus gave us of how important it is to spend time with God is the fact that he would often take time away from others to be quiet and to pray. And in order to connect with God, we must disconnect from the schedule of the day, quiet the chaos, allow our bodies to relax, our minds to rest, and our hearts to become open to receive. In the stillness and the quiet, we can begin to notice and hear from God's Spirit. The world of weight loss and dieting can become overwhelming. It can be easy to become frantic and controlling over the process and miss seeing what God is doing inside of us and his desire for lasting changes to occur. Prayer is a vital time to meet with God, thank him in that time, confess, to intercede, to praise, to ask for help, and become equipped to enter back into the world and surrounded with true strength and peace. God ministers a deep love, a wealth of wisdom, and the promise of comfort. Spend some quiet time alone with God every day. You're likely to be surprised by how life-changing that actually can be. Abide in me, and I in you, so shall you bring forth much fruit. Be calm, be assured at rest, love, not rush, peace, not unrest, nothing fitful, all effectual, sown in prayer, watered by trust, bearing flower and fruit in joy. I love you. That's from God Calling by 2 listeners. And Samuel Shoemaker said, cleanse my life from all which negates or crushes out faith, and fill it with the purity and the honesty which foster it. Jim George said, the heart is the place where our life gets its direction. So today's prayer, dear Lord, please forgive me for the ways I have sinned and help me to forgive those who have actually sinned against me. Help me to be disciplined, to take time to be quiet before you, and to follow the example of Jesus. May you receive all the glory. Amen. Jesus as our example. And I hope these books and the devotionals that we end with each day are helping you with 100 Days to Freedom. Thank you to all. A lot of people are saying volunteering. You'll come out better on the other end. Givers gain. Volunteering, opening a new door for laughter, fun, and good people who want to reach out to help others. It does go a long way. And look how much spirit your mother has. She said, you're very lucky. I am very lucky. I'm very blessed. My true role model. To all of you, thank you so much. I hope you hear and feel the spirit of giving and the gift giving. Don't even just think about it has to be a birthday or it's to be Christmas time. The true joy comes when you weren't expecting it. And it's the gift of kindness that you give to one another. First and foremost, that's where the joy comes from. from. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And please share and like and follow if you can't watch live or someone can't. That's the beauty of it all. It exists for you to share and spread the kindness around the world. And that's what it's all about. Go out today and be kind and watch how your life is fulfilled. Thank you. God bless.